So the general flow is I'm going to do this little PowerPoint for probably about 30 minutes and then demonstrate a few little exercises. And then I'm open to questions, comments, concerns. We could have a little discussion or something. I aim to be on here for probably about 90 minutes for whoever wants to stay and hang out for that. And as I mentioned in the Facebook group or Facebook event, it will be recorded so that people in the future can watch this who couldn't make it tonight. So if you don't want to be on the recording, just please turn off your video or whatever. But I feel like, whoops, fast forwarding here. Anywho, so that is that. And feel free to post something in the chat box if you want. And other than that, we can just get started. But I am going to probably be pretty focused on just presenting this information for the first 30 minutes or so. And if you do have a notebook or something to write down, there's going to be a lot of helpful insights and stuff on here. And one other point is that I know many of you are healers and very knowledgeable on all this stuff. And so I don't want to pretend like I know everything, because I definitely don't. But these are different things that have really helped me a lot. And, you know, if you are very familiar with some of this stuff, I invite you to just view it as like a helpful reminder and to perhaps like even understand it at a deeper level, because I really believe this information is vital to our healing. And the more of us that can like easily articulate it to other people who don't really know about this stuff, the more we can like heal the planet. So anywho, let's do some breathing here. So if you could just find a comfortable position, maybe get your water bottle activated. So I invite us to do some deep breaths together. And if you want, you can raise your hands up on the inhale, either like over your head like this, or just in front of you to kind of visualize the in-breath and the out-breath. So on the inhale, we'll raise our hands up, and on the exhale, please let out a sigh to just release any stress that's still in your field. So inhaling up. Inhaling up. Inhaling up. And let's wiggle it out. And one other exercise I like to do is invite you to put your hands in prayer pose in front of you here. And we're gonna do basically the snowplow effect. We're gonna move our hands apart from each other. First, the left hand, we're gonna open up more space in this present moment. So we're gonna gently move our left hand out to the left, pushing out all the rest of earlier part of today, just creating more spaciousness. Now we move the right hand out, pushing out the rest of today and tomorrow. Using that snowplow superpower. And then you can just shake your hands out. So just allowing yourself to be fully present here. And I really love this Zoom technology that allows us to share space virtually, and very excited to share this information. This has really helped me a lot in my life. Hey, Janelle. Hey, Emmalou. Happy spring to you both. Yeah, so I'm going to dive right into this presentation. And, well, let me see here. It might be tough for me to hit the let's see if I can drag this. Bum, ba-da-bum. Okay, here we go. So, creating space for healing. Here we go. So, the 4 key ingredients for healing are time, space, effort and action, and surrender and allowance. So, let's start with time. You know, a lot of us have, a lot of us who are not working 9 to 5 jobs that were canceled, um, that were not canceled. Well, excuse me. Some people are still working. I'll just put it that way. But a lot of us have more free time at home right now. So I feel like this extra time that has opened up allows us to possibly explore some things that we may have just been kind of putting off. So it's like this prime opportunity to dive into healing. And then space is another key ingredient. Having a space in your home or out in nature that is specifically dedicated to doing whatever your kind of healing practices are, whether that's yoga, meditation, journaling, dancing. Having a space that is specifically intended for that really helps a lot. And then the next key ingredient is effort and action. So, we can't just expect the healing to happen if we don't actually put in the work. And I I'm really big on balancing the kind of masculine and feminine energies of the universe with the basic yin yang symbol that I'm sure you've all seen. And we have to both put in that strong effort to heal whatever challenges we're facing. And then once we put in that effort, we have to be able to just surrender and allow the healing process to unfold, because our bodies do know how to heal, but we do have to do certain things to kind of create the conditions for healing to occur. And by the way, I can send out these slides to anyone that wants to see them, from now until infinity. So you're not obligated to take notes, but I believe note taking does help. And if any cool ideas come to you, then that is a good way to remember them. Okay, so setting aside time. So I've been doing a morning practice basically since 2010, pretty much every single day, unless something's really, if maybe I'll rest one day a week or something. But for me, doing a morning practice has totally revolutionized my life. And I really want to be like a testimonial of how powerful having some kind of morning practice is, so that more people see how much this can benefit every single day of your life. So I recommend devoting at least the first 30 minutes of your day to some kind of practice that grounds you and centers you. And personally, I'm really enjoying going for a short walk outside, getting fresh air. I go to this little grassy area near my house, and I do at least 20 minutes of yoga, strength training, some different leg exercises, which I'll show a little bit later. I do breath work, so deep breathing to oxygenate all the cells of my body, and qigong, which is a form of moving energy throughout your body, which I'll also demonstrate in a little bit. And I'm really big on going barefoot in the grass. Like, if you don't get anything out of this video besides this one thing, I highly recommend trying to go barefoot in the grass for at least 5 minutes a day. Like, that's my number one invitation for, de-stressing, feeling more grounded, connecting with nature. There's so many benefits of it, and it really does decrease inflammation in the body. This has been scientifically studied. They do these tests where they show the body temperature of different areas of the body using a thermograph, and they do a measurement, and then they do a few minutes barefoot on the grass, and all these areas that were hot and inflamed, they decrease in temperature. and it shows the earth is basically like sucking out this inflammation from your body and filling you with healing energy from the earth. So the first 30 minutes of your day sets the tone for your entire day. So I'm pretty passionate about not letting social media, TV, or limiting thoughts get you down right when you wake up. If you reclaim your power and you set the tone for your day, it's this very empowering feeling of like, I'm not going to let all this noise get in my way. It's like, it's a brand new blank slate. I'm just going to seize the moment and, do my yoga, my exercise, maybe make a smoothie or whatever your morning drink is, and just start off on the right foot. And so then if you feel called, you can schedule more time to set aside time for diving deeper into specific healing practices. But I really think starting with 20 or 30 minutes in the morning is a great launch point. So the next thing is clearing out space / decluttering. So I just grabbed this picture from Google. It's obviously a pretty messy house. And have you ever noticed that when you're in a really messy space, it's hard to think clearly, and it's very hard to like think creatively or get into some kind of focus pattern? And it's because your brain is like picking up all this information, and it's disorganized, and it's causing chaos inside of you. At least this is my experience. I'll speak for myself and many people I know. But I've also noticed that it's much easier to focus and remain calm and centered if my environment is clean, organized, and not filled with excess things. So our outer environment and our inner environment mirror each other, and they create like a feedback loop. So if your outer environment's clean, it helps you to think clear, and when you think clear, it makes you more motivated and energized to keep your space clean, and it's like this positive feedback loop. So by cleaning, organizing, and decluttering, you open space for new ideas, creativity, and healing. Bum, bada, bum. I can't see you guys right now, but if you could just give an energetic thumbs up so I know you're still with me. I've got this full screen mode thing going here. Thank you. I felt your thumbs up, or prayer, or spirit fingers. Anywho, so quick tips for decluttering. So these are just some like super quick tips for the steps that I usually do when I'm organizing a space. So step one is consolidation. So putting items that are similar to each other in categories next to each other. You could put your papers over here, your clothes over there, random items in this box, herbal supplements in this box. And it's just a way of like starting the momentum of cleaning. Step two is to sort those items. Whoops. I don't know what just happened, but I'm going to keep rolling. I think it exited from my slideshow big screen. So, dun, da, da, da. Okay, we're back. So sorting the items into these 4 categories. So the first one is just throw away or recycle. These things have really no helpful purpose. The second category is things to give away, maybe to a friend, or to donate them to Goodwill or something. The third category is to keep them, but you want to store them out of sight because you rarely wear these clothes or whatever. The fourth category is to keep in a place that you utilize often and that you have easy access to. These are kind of like permaculture principles if y'all are into permaculture. If you're not, please check out permaculture. Okay. Cruising right along here. So after decluttering, this is a great time to actually clean your space and to add new things to it. So, dusting, putting up new art in your space gives you like new inspirational feedback 24/7. vacuuming. I'm planning to do that one of these days soon. Adding plants, crystals, lights, aromatherapy. If you use like a essential oil diffuser or something like that, those are nice. I'm a big fan of just putting essential oils in a bottle with water, and then you can spray. This really does like clear the energy and helps me think clear. Um, I'm also really big on like Christmas lights, but all of them are blue. It creates like this very healing vibe in my space. I've gotten these blue Christmas lights. Technically, they're probably Hanukkah lights, but they're amazing. Like if you're wanting to really spice up your healing space, highly recommend some all blue like Christmas lights. Plus the Himalayan salt lamp. Those are two key recommendations. Setting up an altar or a place for meditation and yoga. If you don't already have that, it's really beneficial to have some place that you can go that's kind of holding the energy that you want to be embodying in your life. You know, so putting like sacred special items all in one place on an altar and doing your meditation or your yoga there is really beneficial. And lastly, I have simplicity is symmetry for living blissfully. This is a fun little rhyme that I came up with. And yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay. So let's all take a breath here. Um, so, what exactly is healing? I believe we are born into this world with a deeply ingrained sense of wholeness. Generally speaking, babies and toddlers have such vibrant energy because they have not been heavily influenced by society yet. They emanate a state of purity that's untarnished by the weight of the world. Their energy fields are very strong, and their body mind system, which is what I like, an alternative term for the nervous system, their body mind system flows harmoniously. You know, if anyone is familiar with the concept of auras, you know, kids usually have these very strong, bright auras. But as we grow up in this society, we inevitably become wounded in various different ways, and we develop blockages, repressed emotions, and sometimes chronic health issues. And the thing is, healing is about reclaiming that sense of wholeness. And so a big part of that is getting back in touch with our inner child and identifying what the different wounds that we kind of took on growing up in this crazy society. And for a long time, I thought that this concept PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, only applied to people that came back from the military or something. But the truth is that we all pretty much have some degree of PTSD, because this society is inherently traumatic for pretty much all of us. And there's also a thing called CPTSD, which is called complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So there's basically a form of trauma that comes from like one specific incident, like, you know, a car crash or perhaps an assault by someone that happened once. And that is obviously very traumatic. But there's also CPTSD, which is complex PTSD. And this is basically when like things were consistently happening in your life that were traumatic to varying degrees. And this is what I believe I've had for, and I've been healing for many years, because I was in a strong state of fear for many different reasons as a kid. And it was just like a baseline state of being. It wasn't like one specific thing happened. It was many continuous things. So the subconscious mind is a key part of the healing process. So from ages 0 to 7, we're basically like a blank CD, if you can remember those ancient things called CDs. basically like a blank disk being downloaded with all the thoughts and beliefs and behaviors of our family and our society, maybe our teachers. So we're just like a sponge. We have no way of really creating our own thoughts. Scientists have even shown that like kids are kind of in like a hypnotic state until they reach about age 7, when they develop more of their own like sense of self. And so psychologists today say that 95% of our behavior is run by these subconscious programs. This is why you can drive a car and also be having a conversation with your friend, because your subconscious mind knows how to do everything, but your conscious mind is still able to hold a conversation. And this also relates to quitting addictions. Many people will say with their conscious mind, oh yeah, I know smoking's bad for me, I gotta let this go, I'll quit tomorrow. But like they have all this 95% subconscious programming going that's basically saying like, cigarettes help me cope with life, cigarettes help me feel better. Whatever their case is, the subconscious mind is like holding the power. So in order to create lasting behavioral change on mental, physical, emotional levels, we have to rewrite the stories in the subconscious mind. So how do we change the subconscious mind? So I believe that the subconscious mind is literally our physical body. So 95% of our behavior is run by deeply ingrained patterns that are basically like muscle memory. And so if you can imagine that the 5% of our mind, of our conscious mind, is represented by like the 5% of our brain. This is just kind of a metaphor, but it's very accurate. So it's like 5% up here, 95% subconscious. And in order to shift these, you have to come from both directions. So you can do work to literally like rewrite your belief systems. Say your parents always said like, life is hard, everything's a struggle, nobody out there you can trust. You can consciously start to rewrite those stories like, no, like life can be joyful and life can be, there are good people out there. You can start to reprogram those stories. But we also have to work on the physical level, because many of these beliefs and stories are literally like held in the physical cells of our body, and they create different, blockages in our body and different chronic pain issues. And over the last 10 years, I've made huge progress in identifying these different blockages in my body and my mind, and I've been able to heal them. And like, I'm just so blown away on a daily basis at how much better my life feels than it did, even 2, 3, 5 years ago. For example, I used to have like a huge blockage on the back of my heart. So if you've ever heard of the seven chakras, or the energy centers, there's the heart chakra. And most people think of the chakras and they think of the front of their body. But I really believe that the chakras are like energy wheels that go like from the front to the back. And the front for me is usually about giving energy, and the back is about receiving energy. So I had like this huge blockage on the back of my heart where it was very hard for me to receive love or receive any kind of positive feedback, because I had built like this armor on the back of my heart chakra. And so I've done like astronomical amounts of literally like massaging this area, giving myself healing energy, and just opening up this area so that I can actually receive love and energy from people and from earth, from nature, from everywhere. Because I literally had like a shield there, because I had a belief probably that I was unworthy of love, or that it was unsafe to receive love. So I had to both do the physical stuff of massaging myself, getting massages, getting energy work, all these things. And I also had to do the work inside of my brain to remind myself that I am worthy of love, and we're all worthy of love, and that it's safe to receive love. So you can see you have to like hit it from both sides to really make the full change, in my opinion. Okay, so welcome people who are joining. It says 3 more joined. Welcome new friends. This will be recorded, so if you missed the beginning, you can watch the playback. I'm gonna keep cruising here. Let me see. I don't even know what time it is. I'm just gonna stay in the zone, and hope y'all are receiving this. So our bodies are 70% water, at least. There's a Japanese scientist named Masuru Emoto who scientifically demonstrated that water has a memory. This means that the frequencies of energy directed at water leave an imprint, and they affect the actual water molecules. If you say, I love you many times to a glass of water and then you freeze it, the ice crystals are beautiful and symmetrical. If you say things like, I hate you, they become deformed and ugly. Every day we have around 60,000 thoughts. Each of these thoughts is a subtle energy frequency, which is leaving an imprint on every cell in our body because they're very much made of water. So this is a little picture of his experiments. As you can see, when they played like beautiful music to these water crystals, they made these beautiful images. When they said, I will kill you and other mean things, it turned like totally wacky. And friends of mine have done this with rice. Some of the rice they say nice things to, some they say mean things to. The rice that you say nice things to will like stay good for 30 days. The other rice will go bad in like 5 days. It's really crazy, but this is our reality. Okay, so the good thing to remember is that we are water and water is malleable. So if we can affect these crystals by saying things like I love you to them and scientifically prove this, that is clear evidence that we can affect our own bodies and we can change the way that our bodies are flowing energy through them, and we can heal from amazing challenges. I literally had a pretty severe scoliosis, and over the last 5 years of doing all these practices, my scoliosis is pretty much gone. Like every day I'm like, holy shit, I can actually like feel my back and like not feel like I'm in a like straitjacket or something. So anywho, I'm a firm believer in the power of healing, and I really believe that a lot more is possible than we've been led on to believe. So, we've all experienced trauma. Trauma is often defined as more emotion than the brain can process. During this experience, the person gets overwhelmed and goes into fight, flight, or freeze mode. So, if you're, being bullied at school or something, you might try and fight back, or you might just run away, or you might actually like freeze where you kind of just don't know what to do and you just kind of shut down. And that's honestly what I would often do when I would have these traumatizing experiences. And what it does is it kind of like fractures your soul energy, in my experience. So you kind of like shut down a part of yourself, and eventually after this happens enough times, you become kind of numb to a lot of life. And this is really how I was in high school. I had shut down so many parts of myself that I was very apathetic, very numb. I was partying every weekend all the time, and it was not a very fun way to live. But unfortunately, a lot of people are stuck in that very numb state because they've shut down so many times. So the key to remember here is that trauma is subjective, and it's unique for everyone. So, for example, getting lost in a grocery store at age 5 might not bother one child who's like having a little adventure, but somebody else, it could trigger a deep fear of abandonment during this experience. And they could carry this wound of abandonment throughout their whole adulthood. And something similar with this kind of happened with me, where my dad was supposed to pick me up with from school one day, and he thought that somebody else was supposed to pick me up. So I had to wait at school for like 2 hours after every other kid left. And I was just like, where's my family? You know? And it was, I know that it left a strong imprint on me. So trauma blocks the natural flow of energy through our chakras and our toroidal field. So this is basically our energetic field. It's a bioenergetic field, and it flows kind of like my hands are doing. I'll show a picture in a second. So the trauma basically ingrains different thought patterns and beliefs, not only into our minds, but the cells of our physical bodies. So, identifying trauma and limiting beliefs. You may already know some limiting beliefs that cause difficulties in your life. Maybe things about worthiness, whether you deserve a good life or a good partnership or money or whatever these things are. Many of us have been ingrained with different limiting beliefs. It is almost certain that you still have traces of the beliefs, stories, and thoughts that your parents or caretakers had while you were growing up. And although many of us don't want to like admit this, the saying goes like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know, it's like that's just the way that we're programmed, is to take on many of the beliefs of our parents. So it takes active effort and action to reprogram these beliefs into something that we really resonate with. So it's important to question these beliefs and ask, is this belief serving my greatest good? If you want to begin ingraining new beliefs, there are many helpful tools and practices for this. So a repetitive thought turns into a belief. And so the metaphor here is, if you're skiing down a mountain, there's like these grooves in the mountain that have been like carved out, that are those are like the thought patterns. The neural networks in your brain are like these grooves. And so many of them, if you've been thinking thoughts your whole life that say like, I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, whatever, they're like these deeply ingrained patterns. So it does take effort to like start a new trail and start saying every morning like, I am beautiful, I am healthy, I am capable of doing amazing things. But these practices really freaking work. You know, like some people hate on affirmations because they think they're like just positive thinking, but this is literally how you reprogram your subconscious mind. So holy shift, let's analyze our BS. BS stands for belief system. So this is a system that I've put together after studying like hundreds and hundreds of hours of like, I was just obsessed with understanding how all of this stuff works. Because, you know, honestly, I feel like at a soul level, I knew that I wasn't supposed to be suffering as much as I was. And I was like, I can't fucking stand this. I will do whatever it takes to like rewire my entire fucking body. Like I will do whatever it fucking takes. And that's literally what I've done. And like, I'm so thankful to be where I am now. I just want to like share this information with other people. So I put together this system from influenced by many different teachers and philosophies for reprogramming your subconscious mind. And so there's these 9 statements which you can put before an affirmation to make them much more powerful. Because if you're just waking up every morning and saying, I am healthy, I am healthy, I'm healthy, that's good. But if deep down you don't believe that you're worthy of being healthy, then you're going to be subconsciously blocking healthy habits from coming into your life. But if you wake up and say, I am totally worthy of being healthy, I'm totally safe to be healthy, it's my greatest benefit to be healthy, then it's kind of like seeping into that subconscious mind, which is very receptive to say like, oh, yeah, I'm worthy of like eating a salad instead of a cheeseburger for lunch because that's actually going to help me feel a lot better, you know? So these are super powerful for rewriting the different stories. And there's these three different categories. Generative is like tapping into your strong kind of masculine energy and like claiming your power. Like, I claim my power to, you know, create this album that I've been wanting to create for whatever. Like, nobody else is going to do it for me. I claim my power to do this. It's a very like strong energy. um, you know, and then there's the other category of receptive, where this is more of the feminine energy of allowing things to come into your life more easily. Sometimes we're just blocking things because we're not in that state of allowance. So putting these sort of receptive phrases before your affirmations are very good for just allowing healing energy to come to you. You know, there are many different, you know, I truly believe that there's angels, there's other energies that can help us to heal. But if we're not inviting them in and we're not allowing them to help us, we're going to not receive really any help. So then the transformative ones are primarily for rewriting belief systems that you've been ingrained with as a kid. So this is like a key part of everything that I teach, all the courses that I lead, all of the sessions that I do. We usually always include this system because this has truly been a game changer for me. I like to imagine that little triangle at the center is kind of like a GPS. My internet connection is unstable. Hopefully this keeps working. But whoops. Um, I like to say that that triangle system is like a GPS, and I truly believe that this system, if you work with it, it can help you to like navigate to whatever experience of reality you want to live in. And there's like an art of figuring out what stories you need to rewrite to like move in any direction, to like sense where your blockages are, and then use this system to rewrite those stories. So it's pretty magical, and I really believe in it a lot. But it's also big because the way I explain it, it's like you want to feel these affirmations in every cell of your body. So it's not just your conscious mind talking, saying, I'm strong, I'm strong. It's like doing these while you're exercising, while you're dancing, while you're making love, like while your whole energy system is energized. It's like this freaking powerful energy to actually shift these stuck energies. So there's a whole system that I can teach more in depth. I do have a video series on YouTube, and then I've also got it like outlined in my book, Unlocking Our Superpowers. And then I've also have been leading these online courses, which I'll talk about in a minute. So cruising along, we got a few more slides. So Yesai, align with divine design. This is a mantra that I like to repeat as I run, as I walk, as I exercise. And I just imagine that I'm aligning with like the blueprint of a fully healthy human, with all my chakras being aligned. And it's a very powerful mantra. I invite you to try it out. You know, I've had friends that have said it really resonates with them. You know, and having imagery like this around your home helps you to have that visual representation of like a sense of wholeness, you know, because healing is all about feeling whole within yourself. Okay. Um, one more fun mantra is everything is energy is everything. Everything is energy, is everything is energy, is everything is energy, is everything is energy. This is like a really fun mantra to sing while you're running or exercising, whatever you're doing. It's a great mantra. And so this is what I mentioned before. It's called the toroidal field. And this is like the energetic field that surrounds all living beings. And, you know, it looks kind of like an apple. And this pattern is found all throughout nature. And our heart is basically at the center of it. It's like we have this central column that flows the energy up and out, and then it comes back in like through our feet and through our root, and it flows harmoniously. So really the goal of healing is to like reactivate a healthy energetic field and, you know, have healthy holistic habits, and um, that will affect everyone and everything that you interact with and help them to get into a more healing vibration. So we're going to do an exercise in just a minute that kind of taps into this energy. Okay, time to move and groove. That's what we're going to do right now. So, you know, I share here for more resources for healing, learning, transformation, inspiration, please visit teampachamama.net. So on that website, I have all of the chapters of this book, chapter by chapter. You can read them there. Or if you want to buy this book, it is nice to have a physical copy. That also supports me and all the work I do. And, you know, all of these exercises are very much lined out in this book. And then I also lead online courses teaching more of these concepts in a fun, community-oriented space. I just did one called 2020 Vision at the beginning of this year. Many folks on this call were a part of that. We had 17 people from different parts of the world. It was an amazing experience and got some really great feedback. So that course is now available for a like take home do it yourself course. It's all like archived, all the recordings and stuff. So if you're interested in that, it's a really fun interactive way to work on these things. And then I'm also going to be starting a new live course April 2nd that dives more into these concepts called Healing is Cool, because I really believe that healing is cool. And, you know, I want it to people to understand that like this stuff is so freaking awesome and fun. And like, yes, it can be very difficult and very hard. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but it's so worthwhile in my opinion. And like the sense of peace and harmony and inspiration that you can achieve through doing these practices is just totally priceless. So if you're interested in that, it will be starting April 2nd. I've got a whole like outline of the course I can send to anyone that's interested. I also do one-on-one transformational coaching sessions to help you establish healthy holistic habits and do these different practices. So feel free to reach out with any questions. That's, I think, the end of the PowerPoint. So let's take a breather and then I will show some exercises. Let's see here. Stop share. All right. How y'all doing? Let's get some hand motions maybe. Chia Love is in the house. Suzanne Hall, welcome. Rachel, Courtney. We got a squad. Hello, friends. Cool. Thanks for sticking with me through that. As I was saying before, that's literally the first PowerPoint I've done since I think I was in like 5th grade. But I love it. I mean, it's a helpful way to share information. So what I'm going to do now is show you a few of these simple exercises that I do every day that really help me a lot. And you know, no obligation to do them, but if you want to stand up and like try them out with me for a minute, you're certainly welcome to do that. They're pretty basic, but they're very beneficial. So yeah, I'm gonna move my computer for a minute and just try and demonstrate. Okay. Whoops. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's do the gallery view. Rise up from your comfy chairs, my friends. Okay, so my situation here, let's see how I'm standing. So you'll probably be mostly not able to see my face, just like because they're mostly leg exercises. But you'll get the gist of it. I'll try and talk loud. Can y'all still hear me right now? You still hear me? Okay, cool. All right, so these are some very basic grounding exercises that I love to do. So here we go. So the first one you want to do is stand on your right foot. So these also help with balance. To stand on your right foot, you can put your arms out to the side if you want to help you balance. So you want to raise your left foot. These are just simple leg lifts. So you're lifting your left leg out to the side, and you can kind of synchronize with your breath. So you want to feel like a slight sense of resistance in your left leg. You can kind of push against it with your hand. So these are just simple outer leg lifts. So I usually do sets of like 10 or 15. We don't have to do that many right now, but I mainly just want to demonstrate. So this is getting the outer left leg. The next one, you turn like this, and you want to again stand on your right leg, but we're gonna flex the leg directly back behind us. So we're like flexing the back hamstring muscle. So you bring your leg up to about 90 degrees, and I like to put my hand here so I can feel that it's like flexing that muscle. And again, I usually do about 10 or 15 of these, but we'll just do about 5 on each one. Okay, so then the next one, same position, but we're gonna do the butt lift. So you keep your legs straight, and you can put your hand on your butt if you want. Want to get those booty muscles toned. So you just bring your left leg straight back, and you want to feel kind of your butt muscles flexing a little bit. And it's important to try to not keep your lower back fairly like locked in place so it's not tilting over at a weird angle. So we're just doing these back leg lifts. Okay, and then so we got those 3 on the left side. So now we'll try it on the right side. So you balance on the left leg. You can put your hands out again if that helps. You can also easily just like stand next to something if you have a dresser, you know, that way you don't lose your balance. But by doing exercises that do help you with balance physically, I believe that it contributes to your mind, body, spirit balance. So again, we'll do it same thing on the right leg. So leg lifts out to the right. Just feeling the outer thigh muscle tighten a little bit with each leg lift. So you can literally do these while you're watching a YouTube video or doing whatever. It's just a very good way to like start to strengthen your leg muscles, which are like the roots of your tree. All right, so we did those ones. Now we'll turn sideways and do the hamstrings again. So flexing the back of the hamstrings like this. Doing a couple of those. And then the same thing as before, the leg is straight back. You can kind of flex your foot if you want. And this is the butt lifts. So I really believe that having strong legs is a key to being grounded and empowered on this planet. And these exercises really don't take long. I mean, you could do them for 5 or 10 minutes a day, and I really believe you could notice a pretty big shift in feeling a lot more grounded and empowered. So those are the three for that part of the leg. Now the last part so we got like all the different sides of the legs. Now the last one is squat. So you want to put your feet about probably about 3 feet apart from each other. And what I like to remind you is to try and keep your lower back straight and your core sort of tight. And we're just going to squat down like this. And I like to put my hands on my thighs to feel my thigh muscles. And then you push, keeping your torso like parallel with the wall, you know. So you can do some of those. This really feels like it's like anchoring my energy into my body. Mara's starting to break a sweat. This is good. So those are the primary leg exercises that I do every day. And I invite you, if these resonate, to try and incorporate these into a morning practice. There are other, all right, so while we're still standing here, this is the other exercise I want to show y'all, which is to activate the toroidal field, which I mentioned in that video. So you put your hands kind of in a cupped position, and you're going to imagine like you're inside of an apple, basically. So you're kind of like tracing the inside of the apple. So it goes up. You bring your hands to your heart that are kind of like cupping outside your heart. And then you bring them above your head, straight up your central column. And then you bring them back down, keeping the hands kind of cupped. And then they start back at the bottom, then back up to the heart, kind of cupping the heart, back straight up ahead. And you can do this in kind of a squatting position. And then they cup back down again. So let's just slowly keep this motion going. You don't have to stop at the heart. You can just keep the energy flowing. And imagine that your toroidal field is flowing harmoniously. It's getting the energy flowing to start to dissolve any blockages. And you can synchronize your breath with this motion. So usually you're inhaling, bringing your hands up, and exhaling, bringing your hands down. All right, so now let's pause, bringing the hands to heart center. Feels pretty good, right? Okay, so now we're gonna do the same motion, but bringing the energy more down. So bringing our hands up above our heads with the hands cupped, and then through the heart center and down the central column and back around like this. So it's important to remember that grounding the energy is just as important as raising the energy. All right, let's do 2 more and then we'll pause at heart center. All right. Thank you for doing this exercise with me. I hope you can feel the energy flowing. And Chia Love gets bonus points because I believe she's doing it grass on the grass, which is, yep, which is the best way to do it. You can certainly do it in your home, but I highly recommend doing it barefoot in the grass, which I know Susie is also a pro at. Um, so, um, so yeah, I love doing those exercises right when I wake up because, if I want to have the best day possible, I got to start it on the right foot and not let all the other distractions like dictate, how I'm going to live my day. So those practices are very good. I encourage you to get a sip of water if you want. Um, I think that having strong legs and a strong core is only gonna amplify your ability to create positive change in your life and the world. And I do a lot of other exercises like push-ups, crunches, things like that, strength training, pull-ups, all that good stuff. And obviously that's not necessarily everyone's cup of tea, but if you are really wanting to strengthen your body, then I encourage you to try out some of those things. I'll probably be making some more other videos out in nature showing some more extensive exercises, but those primary 4 leg exercises, I feel like pretty much anyone can do those, even like elderly folks if they're holding on to something, just to get the blood flowing, your heart pumping. And I'm a huge advocate for sweating. So like I usually will do these outside and I'll wear a jacket or two because sweating is just like your body's natural detox, and it's so beneficial for so many reasons. And, if you're able to break a sweat, it's very healing. So that is that. The one last exercise, and then we can dive into any questions or comments. With this whole coronavirus thing, there are many, supplements and herbs and health practices that I'm sure you all have seen people post articles. Elderberry is a very good immune booster. I have this stuff called colloidal silver. This is very good for building the immune system. A simple Google search or two, you could easily find some of these things. But, and I encourage you to do that because, having a strong immune system is very beneficial. And I will just say for the record, I do certainly advocate for practicing the whole social distancing, at least for this 2-week period. We'll see what happens at the end of the month. But I think it's smart, and like I think it's a well-needed hibernation for most of us who are often doing too many things. But the one last exercise I want to share is called the dog breath. And this is from Kundalini Yoga. I know Kundalini Yoga is not perfect, but it definitely has some powerful healing practices. So the dog breath, you literally are going to stick out your tongue as long as you can, and you're going to like pump your navel, your belly button. So this is like, it's a detoxifying breath, and it also brings like a huge amount of oxygen into your cells. And I know this is kind of weird, but you probably want to like spit if you do this. So I recommend doing it outside because you're basically like bringing up all of this excess kind of phlegm or whatever. We don't have to do it for a long time right now because I don't want you all to have to like spit. But I'm just being real with you. Like this is a very detoxing breath. And literally the other day I woke up and I was feeling like stuffy in my throat, and I was like getting a little worried. I was like, uh-oh, I hope I'm not getting sick. But like my go-to practice is just going outside, exercising, and doing these kind of breaths. So it's just like, and in Kundalini yoga, they usually recommend doing it for 3 minutes, but you'll start to notice like this kind of stuck, stagnant energy comes to the surface, and it's able to like expel from your body. So I mean, a lot of these, colds and flu things, they basically exist because like the energy, the air inside your body is kind of stagnant, kind of stale. But if you're constantly like going outside and getting fresh energy and stuff, it very much helps to keep your body healthy. So there's that one, and very similar to that is, it sounds like you're saying who ha ha, who ha ha, who ha ha. You don't have to stick out your tongue for this one, but it's very beneficial if you're doing like exercise outside. It's a very grounding breath. So it's like, I usually do this hand kind of motion when I do it. So it's like, so yeah, that's a very grounding breath. Generally speaking, breathing through your mouth is more grounding, and breathing through your nose is more elevating. So if you're wanting to ground your energy and feel more empowered and solid on the earth, then like mouth breathing is recommended, in my opinion. So those are the main little downloads, nuggets of wisdom I wanted to share. Thank you all for tuning in now and in the future. And I'm going to check the chat box. Alyssa said, magnificent art. Who created it? Yeah, I'm not sure who created that chakra art that I had in the PowerPoint, but it is certainly beautiful. So yeah, does anyone have any specific questions related to any of this? Feel free to unmute yourself. Or comments.
You're wonderful. Thank you for this.
Sure, thank
Definitely
you.
some nuggets.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to serve nuggets, golden nuggets to the people. Was there anything that resonated for you, Miranda?
Definitely the trauma. I've always been really like in touch with the subconscious and conscious and trauma, and definitely going to take your technique on the affirmations, because typically I do just go, oh, I am strong, I am worthy, but never really looked at it that way. So definitely going to try that.
Cool.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Anybody else have any feedback? Anything that resonated in particular? Sure. Could you unmute yourself, Suzanne?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you. I see your art gallery.
Yeah, it's not as messy as it seems. So, the thing about the breathing really intrigued me, and something I needed personally, learning how to breathe differently and understanding that breathing through your mouth is a lot different than breathing through your nose,
Yeah.
past the physical. One is grounding and one is more elevating.
Yeah.
But it seems like some of the anecdotal helpers with people who already have had the full 8 days or whatever it is of the coronavirus, and they've been posting, and some of them are older people that survived.
Mm-hmm.
They said that actually the emotional breathing technique helped them through that part of the coronavirus when it comes through your system, when it starts to make your breathing difficult, and it's right before that point where you could get serious with it. And so they really felt that their breathing, especially with the emotional breathing technique, helped them circumvent any type of more serious problems with their lungs.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's anecdotal. I mean, the doctors haven't come out with, oh yeah, this is what you should do, but
Yeah, I mean, if I see the dog breath on CNN, I'll be I'll be pretty happy.
And one more thing I'd like to contribute with the positive affirmational part.
Sure.
I have probably done this my whole life, but I have been ill the past 4 days. I think I'm fighting a cold.
Yeah.
And so, I'd be laying there resting. I get so tired during the day. Sometimes I just kind of sleep. And then, of course, I'm a human being. I'm wondering what's going on here. I hope I have a cold. And if I do, I want to push it out, work with it. And so I've been telling my body how much I love my body. I love you. I love you. I love you. And it seems to have helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I think that, sending the cells, pretending that the cells of our body are actual people, when you send them good vibes, they perk up. And
Well, it's more, I think, of a consciousness that they really have their own consciousness
yeah.
that's not maybe like our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Cool. Anybody else have any feedback you want to share?
Hey, yeah. First of all, I just kind of wanted to say that, it's good to do another one of these. I feel like the class and this has been really helpful. Just having occasional sort of like reminders and check-ins has really helped me build some good habits. And I feel like I'm doing better than I would be otherwise. So I really appreciate it. And let's see. One question that keeps coming to my mind, and I feel like we talk about this occasionally, but you mentioned the Emoto experiment. I was wondering if you have any good sources on that that I could see if I find a few minutes to read, because that's been like it's one of those things that's like intuitively really makes sense. And I've heard some like refutation on the part of some of my more scientific minded friends, but at the same time, like that could be because of a variety of things as well. So
Yeah, I can try and find some specific links. I know that he did write several books, and I have seen a few of the books. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a scientific molecular biologist or whatever, so I might not understand all the ins and outs of it, but I do know Cole, who was in our class. He did an experiment with rice, and he said it was, very drastic difference in the one that he said positive things to and the things he said negative things to. And I've heard other people do similar experiments where they talk to their plants or something, or they don't talk to their plants, and it's just remarkable how much like sending loving energy to any like object kind of helps it. But yeah, I'll try and find some good online sources for that.
cool. I told you that I've been doing like a nature photography project, and I've been taking a bunch of pictures of ice, and that's been pretty interesting. Like
Nice.
to see what kind of emotions that sparks, like artistically, but like also what that might mean about like the the more complex molecular structure of the ice.
Yeah, it's certainly
And just the world it's in.
It's certainly interesting to ponder, and yeah, we live in a magical world.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Anybody else have any questions, comments, feedback? Are you still with us, Alyssa? I don't know if she's listening. She says she's on. Oh, there she is. Can you unmute yourself? Or here, I just unmuted you.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Thank you. I took my notes.
Yeah.
I took notes.
Wow.
The receptive generative transformative is brilliant. And the whole, you're just brilliant. And I'm just I'm in awe. And I'm working to motivate Zoom. It's I don't know where that resistance is, but it's somewhere. But I'm gonna do those leg exercises and integrate some more things into my. I've just been spending oodles of time like meditating and being in nature and talking to the birds like over the past since this thing came out. I can't. I'm so hungry for. I'm gonna be in retreat for the next 3 days starting tonight, and I because we're being called like so loudly, and I'm like, no, wait, do I really have something to offer? So thank you for stepping up and stepping out.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say, I'm gonna stop my video.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing that, Alyssa. I think that well, firstly, I just want to say I like your measurement of time, oodles of time. I'm not sure of what exactly length that is, but it's a good measurement of time. But yeah, I your signal was a little bit scratchy, Alyssa. I think that perhaps strengthening your internet signal might help you get on Zoom more fluidly. But that's just a thought because it seemed like the signal was a little bit in and out. So anywho, thank you for sharing. And oh wait, now you're unmuted.
That means, how do you strengthen a signal?
Well, okay, how do you strengthen the internet signal? Well, one solution is to have your computer closer to your Wi-Fi box. I don't know if it's really close to it already, but sometimes if it's far away, it causes that issue. And then also there's like different levels that you can have the broadband speed or whatever, Comcast, I think there's different levels. Perhaps if it's not at like the best level, then it might have a not so good internet connection.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Welcome, Amit. Do you want to say hi for a minute? Wait, okay, I just unmuted you.
Yes. Hello, fellow Scooby.
Hey. Did you catch any of the presentation, or you just?
A little bit. It did show me on video, so I came back. What's this? You know, like I was. So yeah, just a little bit.
Cool. Is there anything from it that sparked any thoughts or feelings in you?
I only saw a little bit of it, so can't say too much.
Word.
But it's good to be here. Wanted to see everybody or hear everybody. You know,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for showing up.
Sure.
Anybody else? Sarah, Rob, Rachel, Courtney, any of you have any feedback you want to share? You're welcome to unmute yourselves if you do have any thoughts. All right, it's all good if you don't. But yeah, let me just see here. It's 8:22. So yeah, we're rounding around 90 minutes. So we can wrap it up pretty soon here. I guess a fun exercise while we're here is to apply those. So let's check this out. Exit full screen. So I'm going to pull up the affirmation activations imagery here, and let's see if we can do this. Da, 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 da. So y'all can see this now. This is, so I can also send out this image. Oh, this image is on the Facebook event page if you were to see that. And yeah, so what I'm going to invite y'all while you're still here, and if you're watching this in the future, is to create at least one affirmation right now using this formula. So if there's something in your life that you're working to shift or to heal, what I'm going to invite you to do is create an affirmation and to have the same base affirmation and add one of these from each category. So say your affirmation is let's say say you want to feel inner peace. So you could choose one from each category. So you could say, I ask for guidance in feeling inner peace. And then from the generative one, you could say, I choose to believe that inner peace is possible. And from the transformative one, you could say, I am totally worthy of experiencing inner peace. So if you have a piece of paper or something, I invite you to just choose an affirmation and then, you know, pick one from each category to add to it. And if you're watching this in the future, I invite you to do the same thing. So there's many different ways to apply this formula, and you know, we go much more into detail with it in the different online courses in the 2020 Vision course, and also in the one that I'm going to be leading on April 2nd. And so if you do want to dive deeper, I'd be happy to help support you with that. But a few fun ways to apply these is like turning them into songs that you could sing, you know, little mantras you can do while exercising, because the real key is to like put your full emotional energy into them and do some kind of body movement that like synchronizes with the affirmation. Like if you're doing like the inner peace one, perhaps the hands in prayer pose or over the heart, especially while you're like laying down, you know, for the receptive ones can be really helpful. And through this process, I always recommend saying them at least 3 times in a row. 3 is always the magic number in magic and, you know, all kinds of things, because it allows it to like anchor into yourself. So, for example, I recommend doing like a breath and a shoulder roll in between each affirmation to help it like anchor into your body. So I'd just be like, I am open to receive inner peace. I am open to receive inner peace. I am open to receive inner peace. And then to like seal the affirmation, I like to say thank you. And you can say it 3 times if you want, or 1 time, whichever you prefer. Because that, it just like affirms that, you know, the universe heard you, your subconscious mind heard you, your inner child heard you. Yeah, it's a really nice, simple formula. So does anyone that's on here feel inspired to try sharing an affirmation? Whoops. I'm gonna do this again. Would any one of you be interested in sharing an affirmation? All right, let me unmute you. Okay, you're good to go.
Yeah, I can share. I said, I ask for guidance and feeling I'm deserving of what is good. Should I give you the other two, or should I say it 3 times? What do you?
That one sounds good. Let's do that one, and everyone watching this now and in the future, let's just hold space for him to embody this affirmation. So I invite you to share it and do some kind of hand posture that sort of.
Yeah, I gotta. It's cutting me off from the camera.
Yeah, so a little shoulder roll in between, and then thank you to kind of seal it.
Okay, I'll do that 3 times. I ask for guidance and feeling I'm deserving of what is good. I ask for guidance and feeling I'm deserving of what is good. I ask for guidance and feeling I'm deserving of what is good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think one time when we were in the park with me and you and Rourke, like I think we were doing some crazy things like jumping or something, like we all kind of,
Yeah, I mean, that was beautiful, firstly, and yeah, I remember that. I remember that day vividly. Yeah, I mean, it's great to just do whatever you want to do to like anchor that energy into your body. You know, a lot of people say that 90% of communication is nonverbal. It's
Right.
like if you walk into a room and your teacher's about to give a presentation and they're all like shriveled up and not like feeling confident, you're going to be like, I don't have to respect this person, you know. But if they come in there and they've got like this big strong energy and they're really like giving that nonverbal body posture of like confidence, you can feel that and you're like, okay, this person like knows what they're doing, I'm going to respect that, you know. And so that's the same way with the affirmations. It's like your subconscious mind is like, how much do you really believe this stuff? Like, are you really going to fucking claim it? Like, I really encourage people to go, you know, really intense. Obviously you don't want to like do this in a shopping mall or something, but uh, like I claim my power to be strong and healthy, you know, and like really claim it as if you've got to like pull all your effort into it. You know, these are really, really powerful practices. So yeah, thanks for sharing, brother.
Sure. It's good that you felt something on your end, because sometimes I've been questioning, what's going on. It's good to get the feedback.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to come together in these virtual spaces where we can affirm each other, you know. Cool. Anybody else feel inspired to share an affirmation? No pressure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
finally figured out how to unmute this thing. Can I give a piece of feedback that might be helpful for a future course? First of all, as I was just writing this out in the triangle, the receptive, generative, and transformative, I was remembering some of the ones that I had recently come up with, and was kind of thinking it might be helpful to just kind of give the suggestion to come up with one of each over a period of, certain number of weeks or whatever, and kind of think about putting them together. Because I was just remembering in the generative side that I had said I wanted to claim my power to create my own schedule. And then on the receptive side, I wanted to say I was open to kind of receiving spiritual inspiration based on like, the kind of real true purpose stuff that we were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the transformative one was that I had from before, but the one I want to say today, I think it goes right along with both of those, which is that I feel like one of my negative beliefs is like, sometimes you just have to do things you don't really that aren't really that good, like just to make a living or whatever. And like,
Yeah.
you know, that can be true, but you know, I've been trying to figure out a way to align my efforts with my purpose. Like sometimes that might mean like doing what I really want to do, but it also might mean just like doing whatever I'm doing in a way that, you know, connects all of that. So the one I'm going to say today is I'm totally worthy to align my efforts with my purpose.
Nice.
I am totally worthy to align my efforts with my purpose. I am totally worthy to align my efforts with my purpose. Thanks.
Beautiful. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, looking to nature for metaphors is usually helpful. And I like to look at all the trees that are abundantly producing hundreds upon hundreds of apples, and you know, all these things are just like effortlessly giving so abundantly.
Yeah.
And I believe that part of it is because they're tapped into that natural flow of energy, but many of us have become disconnected in different ways from that natural flow of energy. And so I think looking for inspiration from the natural world might be helpful in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for sharing that, Angus. Anybody else want to step up to the plate and share an affirmation? All right, Suzanne, I will unmute you here. Maybe we're unmuting at the same time.
Unmuted. Yeah.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to share an affirmation. I might. I don't know.
Okay.
But I just want to suggest something about the triangle diagram.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the great in his new book? And he's talking about quantum physics studies, how our emotional part of us is really a big part of manifesting anything.
Yes.
So I would suggest, I mean, you know, it's your stuff, but, you know, bring in an emotion into the quotes that you tell yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, maybe I kind of zone out. I have a problem. I have a learning disability. So if you did mention that, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Thank you for expressing that. Yeah, I have not read his new book. I am pretty familiar with Greg Braden.
I mean, he's not the only one. I mean, he's
Yeah,
not the expert. We all are experts. And so
exactly.
it just seems to make sense that you bring in your emotional part of yourself. It might enhance it or bring in more depth to it. If somebody's able to do that, it might be like an option, you know,
Yeah,
to do that.
totally. Thank you for that feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. Well, I do like to say that emotion is like energy in motion, you know, and that's why I was saying like with Amit about how the energy that you put with your body is like that energy in motion. But I do think, yeah, you're right. We could add in perhaps the feeling of passion, um, or other various emotions, love, you know. I do think I could more explicitly invite that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, honestly, I think that one emotion that's very powerful with these is anger. Like, I'm a very big advocate for like sacred anger release. And a lot of times I will be feeling a little bit angry when I'm doing certain affirmations, because it's kind of like, if you don't let yourself get angry about the way things are that you don't want, then it's almost like you don't have the energy to make a change. It's like, if you're not like pissed off that you can't have whatever your thing is, sometimes getting pissed off about it and being like, I claim my fucking power to like go do this thing, then you might not really make that shift. So anger can be, if you use it in a healthy and balanced way, very powerful emotion to create change in your life. Yeah. All right. Any other final shares, comments, questions? All right, all right. Well, Alyssa says, my affirmation activation is love, blessings. Thank you. Whoops. So yeah, I will just say that I appreciate you all tuning in and being open to these tools and practices. They have really helped me a tremendous amount in my life. And yeah, if you're interested in doing more with these things, as I mentioned before, I just led a 4-week online course called 2020 Vision, and it was a lot of fun. We explored a lot of these things in depth, and I now have that course available for people to do as a take-home do-it-yourself course. And I'm also going to be leading another course specifically focused about healing, subconscious mind, trauma, the things we covered in this presentation. That course is going to start April 2nd. And so it's called Healing is Cool. And it will be fun. And it will also, I'm sure, be challenging because, the healing process is certainly challenging, but I really believe that it's very rewarding and worthwhile. So that starts out April 2nd, excuse me. And we'll be meeting weekly via Zoom calls like this. And we'll also have a private Facebook group. And we'll also have weekly journaling assignments and things. And yeah, I mean, while we're in this social distancing mode, especially, I feel like it's a prime opportunity to do healing work. And, it's never too late to heal the inner child and feel a greater sense of wholeness, and I just have felt so much relief from doing an extraordinary amount of work, but it certainly has paid off in the sense of peace and balance and groundedness that I feel now. And I just want to share these tools with whoever is open to, exploring them. So that is that. And yeah, my other thing, like if you don't want to do the courses or anything, I do have this book which outlines pretty much all of them. I know some of you have this book. This, goes through the whole healing process in one of the chapters. Plus, it's got a lot of other really fun stuff. So this book is available on Amazon, and I do have the chapters on the Team Pachamama website if you just want to go through them. But I really want to get these tools out to the world however possible. So if y'all want to share this video or share any of the other things I share, I feel like I'm kind of a librarian of the internet, and I've been studying all these different tools, and my job is to kind of, I'm a librarian / air traffic control person. So I'm like, okay, you need help with your inner child, I'll help you go over there. And then it's oh, you need inspiring music, right over this way. So anywho, that's kind of the way I see myself. But speaking of music, I also want to say I make my own music. This is my album, Evolution in Motion. It's pretty fun. And it is on Bandcamp, and Bandcamp is doing this special offer where 100% of the proceeds go to the musicians. So if you feel like listening to some fun, inspiring music and want to support me and my music, I'll post the link to my Bandcamp. This album is really fun, especially I really invite all of you to listen to one song. It's track 14. It's called Leaving the Stampede. And I feel like that's what we're doing right now with this whole coronavirus thing. It's everyone's been in this stampede, running full speed ahead. Society's progress, progress, progress. But no one really knew where we were going or what the hell we were doing. And we just never hit the fucking pause button. And now it's like we finally hit the pause button and we're all like, holy shit, we've been in a fucking stampede for the last 100 years and we haven't even fucking paused. Like, you know, obviously we got to like reassess what's going on here. So, anywho, I wish you all the best in your pause mode, and feel free to message me with any questions, or if you're interested in any of the courses or one-on-one coaching that I do, feel free to send me a message on Facebook or an email. And if you're watching this in the future, thanks for beaming back in time through the magic of the internet. This is a fun thing. Peace and love. I have long fingers, so it's easier to do, but yeah, peace and love. Cool. Let's just do three breaths together to close this out, and we can keep it flowing. So let's find a centered posture here. So thank you all for creating more space for your own healing process, and hopefully the healing that you are going through will make positive ripples out into your friends and family and to the world beyond that. So let's do 3 breaths together. So inhaling, raising our hands up, exhaling with a sigh. Yep. All right, thanks again, y'all. And the number one invitation homework assignment is to walk barefoot in the grass for at least 5 minutes every day. That's my number one assignment invitation. And hello to Suzanne's beautiful cat. All right, thanks again, y'all. Reach out if you got any questions, and happy spring. We made it to spring. This is awesome. All right. Peace and love. Bye-bye.